Yo, what's good, Telegram? I'm gonna do this video for y'all real quick. This little trade recap before I gotta take off in the next 30 minutes. So let's try to make this quick and sweet. I don't know if I went over Monday's price. Well, that was Memorial Day. I don't know if I did, but I marked it out, so I'm pretty sure I did. But there was an SMT there. That's what this white line is. Liquidity sweep, inverse fair value gap, up to these 8 session highs and previous highs, pretty much previous day highs. But I didn't trade it because obviously it was Memorial Day. But today was kind of the same thing. You feel me? My strategy played out to perfection again, as always. But this first 5 minutes of London session, bro, we kind of like took off. So I was looking at that and I'm just like, man, fuck, I'm not trading this shit because we was down here, mind you. I'm like, bro, there's no other draws on liquidity. Like, there's nothing left for me to go off of right here besides a continuation trade, you know what I'm saying, to keep moving lower. But that was really about it. So I didn't want to risk selling off into that when these highs was actual draws on liquidity. So I was like, if we come back up and inverse this fair value gap, then I'll be looking to enter. But that was a big ass 5 minute fair value gap. A lot could have happened within that range. So I was again kind of skeptical and hesitant, and that's why I entered way up here, right? I just had to scale down to the 1 minute time frame, which I could do that real quick. This is what I don't have time for. Right? So there's 2 fair value gaps on the 1 minute time frame that made up the 5 minute fair value gap that I was talking about. Right? So I just entered off of the inverse of this one. And then once we was coming up into this one. So once we inverse this first fair value gap, which was right here, I'm looking at price and I'm like, okay, let's see what she do next. Because sometimes we'll invert a fair value gap and then go down in a direction that we was already going down into. It happened to me before, so I didn't want to chance it. So I waited for the next few candlesticks, and then we had this 1 minute fair value gap in here. Right? So once I seen that 1 minute fair value gap get inverse, we were already pushing up into this fair value gap with some steam because it created a 1 minute fair value gap. I was like, okay, now I'm looking for longs, right? Go back to the 5 minute. Fuck. What the fuck? My bad. But yeah, like I said, we had that 1 minute fair value gap right here. So this was the midpoint of this 5 minute fair value gap. So all of that coupling in together, we just coming off this liquidity sweep. This was a beautiful sweep, to be honest. We didn't even close below it at all. We did wick down below it. Like I said, the wicks don't really matter when it comes to fair value gaps and liquidity sweeps. In a liquidity sweep, you would want to see a wick down, but a candlestick closure above that high or low. That's more confirmation that we rejected that area immediately. Because as soon as we came down and touched it, we pulled back, right? And then had another bullish 5 minute fair value gap. I mean, not fair value gap, but 5 minute engulfing candlestick, right? So I'm looking at all of that. After we just came off a liquidity sweep, I'm like, boom, bro. That's all I needed. I wanted to take a trade anyway. So again, I still was patient. I waited for that 1 minute fair value gap. Also waited till we got to the midpoint of this huge 5 minute fair value gap. And I entered up to these highs. That was really the whole thought process. At first I wanted shorts. But once I was, because I watched like the last 2 hours of Asia session leading up into London session. So when we made this move up, I was like, okay, boom. I'd rather see London session open, do this same 5-minute manipulation, but to the upside, and then inverse the fair value gap to the downside. And we come down and take out these lows. Because I thought we was going to, you know what I'm saying, continue lower to come all the way back down into the regular price range. But that didn't happen. Because once that 5-minute, bro, London session opened and just, bam, dumped down. I seen that and I was like, okay, now I need to flip my bias. This is going to be a 5-minute manipulation to the downside, reversal to the upside, right? And that's kind of basically all that was, a manipulation reversal trade. I entered prematurely off of the inverse of this fair value gap, but like I said, we inversed the 1-minute fair value gap and then created another 1-minute fair value gap as we was testing the other 1-minute fair value gap. So that's kind of what was my thought process, man. My strategy is really simple: liquidity sweeps and imbalances. Also, we broke structure on the 1-minute time frame. So again, that was just more confirmation for me. And let me see if there was an SMT while I'm here. Ooh-wee, ooh-wee. Hold up. I don't think there was. Let me turn these on. Alright, technically there was. This is the new week opening gap here. Oh. Right, this was the new week opening gap for GBP USD. We did not come nowhere near it, right? But the new week opening gap, pretty much 8 session lows was here. We did sweep all of that shit. So there was SMT, liquidity sweep, breaker structure, inverse fair value gap with a fair value gap, all played into the market. Feel me? All played into my strategy, because it is my strategy. So who would I be not to take a trade, right? That's really it. I'm gonna be honest. I had tried to keep this short and sweet. I know I did kind of breeze through this, but like I said, it's just a little recap, and I'm about to leave, so I got somewhere to be. But like I said, man, inverse fair value gap, fair value gaps, liquidity sweeps, SMTs, breaker structure, like. You can see it played out 2 days in a row, Monday and Tuesday. So take that how you want to, my friends. But that's all I got for y'all, man. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this little quick recap. But like I said, we'll go over it one more time. We got a liquidity sweep right here, yellow line, SMT, Euro USD came well below the new week opening Asia session lows. And then GBP USD did not. Also, we inversed the fair value gap on a 1-minute time frame and the 5-minute time frame. I chose the 1-minute time frame because it was a little bit faster, and this 5-minute manipulation candlestick was pretty big, so I didn't want to wait for us to inverse that fair value gap and mess my risk to reward up, because I like to put my stop loss underneath the lows that got swept or above the highs that got swept, and I like to put my TP at unchecked highs or unchecked lows. Right, that is the strategy right there. I talk about this every day. So y'all see it played out 2 days in a row. But again, that's all I got for y'all. Y'all boys stay motivated. Y'all stay blessed. I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video.